Vivian was a top-tier hypnotist. In the 3rd year of our relationship, she wiped my memory 9 times. Each time, it was after I caught her being intimate with her assistant, Kyle. From explicit photos and frequent texts to checking into hotels and staying out all night with him. She couldn't even be bothered to explain, simply using hypnosis to erase my memory. The day before our wedding, I found her at her bachelorette party. She was just leaning in Derek's arms, pointing at me mockingly, saying, "Bet you anything he won't remember a thing tomorrow, and he'll still be on his knees begging me to marry him." I gave a blank smile, saying nothing. She didn't know I had a unique constitution. Once the hypnosis was layered to the 10th time, I wouldn't just forget the bad memories, but her entirely. Vivian's clothes were disheveled, and large red marks were clearly visible on her collarbone. She glanced at me with contempt, as if she didn't even see me, her fiancé. Derek sneered, arrogantly challenging, "Ethan, you don't think just because you're marrying Vivian you can control her, do you? Make her listen to you and leave with you?" My eyes burned as I stared at Vivian, wanting her to give me an explanation. But her gaze was distant and cold, her tone utterly chilling. "Stop ruining my fun. Get lost." It was the first time she'd ever sent me away for Derek like this, yet I felt a strange sense of familiarity. As if I'd been through this scene countless times, my heart tortured into numbness, already immune to the pain. Others at the party jeered, "Ethan Miller, it's her bachelorette party. Can't you let Vivian relax? What a stingy fiancé you are. If you keep this up, Vivian might not want you, you know. Then we'll see you crying and begging her to marry you." Their taunts echoed in my ears. Suppressing the bitterness in my heart, I said to Vivian, "Come home with me and we'll prepare for the wedding tomorrow, or stay here and we're over. You choose." I remembered At just yesterday she had picked out the most expensive suit for me. She'd held my hand and told me that after we were married, she would love me with all her heart. In just one day, how could she have changed so completely? Vivian's face clouded with displeasure. She frowned and snapped, "I already agreed to marry you. What else do you want? Stop making a scene." Her tone made it sound like marrying me was a huge sacrifice, a great favor she was bestowing upon me. A bitter taste filled my mouth. I said with difficulty, "Vivian, we're getting married the day after tomorrow, yet you're staying out all night with another man. Do you think I'm making a scene?" She couldn't even be bothered to explain, retorting casually, "Trying to control me before we're even married? If that's not making a scene, what is?" I stepped back 2 paces, a bitter smile on my face. "Fine. I'll give you what you want." I turned to leave, but Derek came after me, blocking my path and saying mockingly, "Ethan, seriously? Vivian's just having some fun. You can't give her what she wants, so you won't even let her amuse herself with someone else?" His smile was full of blatant provocation. He deliberately lowered his voice and added, "Vivian just thinks I'm better in bed than you, that's why she can't let go of me. Idiot, you probably don't remember how ecstatic Vivian was in my bed those 9 times before, do you?" Rage consumed my entire heart. I clenched my fists and roared with hatred. "What are you so proud of? You think she's serious about you? You're just a plaything she can discard anytime." I swung a punch at him. He dodged, intentionally kicking my injured leg. Pain shot up my calf. I lost my balance, stumbling back a few steps and hitting the wine cabinet. All the wine bottles crashed down on me, shards of glass piercing my flesh. I was in so much pain I couldn't stop trembling. Vivian walked over. I reached out to her, pleading for help. "Vivian, my leg, it hurts so much." But she didn't even look at me, going directly to help Derek, who was pretending to have fallen. I crawled over with difficulty, begging, "Vivian, take me to the hospital, my leg hurts so much." Her face was cold, her voice like ice. "Ethan Miller, Derek just said a couple of words for me. Did you really need to lay hands on him?" I froze, stunned. It wasn't until I saw the smirk on Derek's face that I realized she'd misunderstood. "He pushed me. There are so many people here, ask them if I pushed him." Vivian's face darkened considerably. She yelled at the crowd, "Did Ethan Miller push Derek just now?" I saw him hit Derek with my own eyes. Now he's trying to twist the story. Anyway, I saw him throw the first punch. He must have known Derek has a blood clotting disorder and deliberately attacked him for revenge. Not a single person spoke up for me. Her anger blazed in her eyes. She threw out words as cold as ice. Don't get too smug. If I don't want to get married, I can cancel the wedding anytime. She helped Derek up, looking at his scraped skin with a worried expression before leaving. And I was left with a bloody head from the crashing bottles, yet she hadn't even glanced at me. The bartender saw how pathetic I was and called an ambulance to take me to the hospital. The doctor used tweezers for a long time to pick the glass shards out of my flesh. Lying in the hospital room, feeling pain all over, for the first time I felt exhausted by this relationship. Vivian and I had been together for a full 8 years. In my memory, we had always been very close, rarely arguing or getting upset with each other since we started dating in college. 2 years ago, I injured my calf doing underground boxing to help her pay off debts, and it left a lasting problem. She had held me, sobbing, saying that the day she made something of herself, she would marry me. 2 years passed, and our wedding was ready. But the happy beginning was ruined. It ended in a way I had never imagined. I wouldn't forgive Vivian. Before I even had a chance to call her to talk about breaking up, she found the hospital room, carrying a pile of things, her face full of remorse. Ethan, are you still mad? This was always her tactic, hitting me then offering a treat. I looked away, ignoring her probe. She put the things down, took my hand, and spoke coaxingly. I was wrong. There were so many people there yesterday, and if I hadn't stuck up for Derek, he would have been completely humiliated. We're getting married tomorrow, you'll understand, right? I let out a cold laugh and said flatly, stop pretending. We're breaking up. Breaking up? We're getting married tomorrow. How can we break up over something so small? She stared at me in shock. I suppressed the faint reluctance in my heart and said indifferently, Vivian, I gave you a choice yesterday. You chose Derek. She was silent for a moment, then forced a smile. Then forget about that choice. Let's start over. I frowned, looking at her with confusion, and said decisively, impossible. She rummaged through her bag and pulled out a hypnosis device. Looking at me with a smile, she said, the wedding will still happen tomorrow, Ethan. You know how much I love you. It dawned on me what she was about to do. She was going to erase my memory. The memory of her words at the party yesterday flashed in my mind. I would still kneel and beg her to marry me. So that was it. No wonder she was so certain, and didn't bother explaining her relationship with Derek. No wonder I had no memory of us arguing over anyone, or any idea when she fell for Derek. Derek's taunt, those 9 times before, that's what he meant. I hadn't just experienced a scene like yesterday's for the first time. I looked at the device and said in despair, Vivian, even if you erase those memories, my body will still remember the pain you've caused me. The pain my heart endured when facing her and Derek together wouldn't disappear. She said noth. Concentrating entirely on the hypnosis. As my eyes closed, the scenes of the previous 9 times she'd erased my memory flashed through my mind. I discovered Derek had sent her explicit photos, and we had a huge fight. She missed my mom's funeral because she took Derek's cat to the vet. Time and again, she left me by the roadside because of Derek, scolding me for being petty, for not being able to tolerate someone younger. Pain surged through my brain, flashing by. Our relationship had already ended long ago. Before I lost consciousness, a bitter tear fell. But she was smiling sweetly, leaning down to kiss my forehead. Sleep now. Tomorrow is our wedding, and we'll be together forever. When I woke up again, my mind was a blur. I had no memory at all of why I was in the hospital. The only thought in my head was that I was getting married to Vivian today. I tried hard to remember Vivian, but all that was left of our memories was a fragmented sentence. We've been in love for 8 years, and we're getting married today. Vivian's secretary sent someone to pick me up, who took me to change into my suit and then to the wedding venue. I walked through the planned proceedings in a daze, completely unsure of what I was doing. All I knew was that Vivian was my love. But I couldn't recall any of the details of our time together. Forget it, I must just be confused. Thinking this, I walked down the aisle, watching Vivian slowly walk towards me in her white wedding dress. Scenes of us in college, dreaming about our future wedding, flashed rapidly in my mind. She handed me a sketch of a wedding dress she had drawn, smiling and saying, "Ethan, when we get married, can I wear this dress to marry you?" Those memories were hazy, like scattered pieces, and vanished after a moment. I tried to stay focused, reminding myself over and over that Vivian was my love. Vivian held out her hand to me and asked softly, "Ethan, are you not feeling well?" I shook my head, suppressing my discomfort. "No, let's continue." The officiant called out for us to exchange rings. I knelt on one knee to place the ring on her finger. Suddenly, a shout shattered the peaceful atmosphere of the wedding. Derek walked in, wearing a suit similar to mine, and cried out, "Vivian, don't say yes to him. If you do, we'll truly never have a chance to be together. Come with me. I'll treat you better. I won't try to control you like he does." I looked at him in confusion, then went back to trying to put the ring on Vivian's finger. But Vivian grabbed my hand, stopping me, and looked towards Derek. Seeing the wavering in her eyes, I actually became nervous and scared. Didn't we have 8 years of deep affection? Why was I worried she would leave with someone else? Vivian twisted her hands together and yelled at Derek, "Stop fooling around. Today is Ethan's and my wedding, I'm not going with you." The sudden panic finally disappeared. I looked at her, smiling happily. "Vivian, after today, we'll be together forever." She smiled too, nodding emphatically, and extended her hand again. But Derek wouldn't give up. He cried out, wailing, "Vivian, 2 years! Do you really have no feelings for me at all? You were the one who saved me, who gave me a new start. Are you just going to abandon me now? If that's the case, you might as well not have saved me back then. Just let me die in that crash." With that, he ran outside in a rage. And Vivian panicked too, pushing me away forcefully and running after him. I stood there in disarray, only the pain in my heart, like being slowly sliced, reminding me that everything was real. It took me a while to react. I chased after her, asking, "Aren't we getting married? He's just your assistant, isn't he? Why are you so worried about him?" She didn't even turn her head, her back receding in a hurry. "I'm sorry, let's postpone the wedding. This is a matter of life and death right now. I have to find Derek first." The affectionate way she said hi. S name and the look of worry on her face filled me with bitterness. I wanted to stop her, but she was already gone. The guests left the venue, many looking sympathetic. Some offered me a word of comfort, others' conversations drifted over. "He's really devoted. I heard he caught her cheating 9 times and they still almost made it to the wedding. Could this Vivian really be in love with her assistant? She's ditching her own wedding. Poor Ethan Miller, all these years of deep affection." I couldn't understand what they were saying at all, but their words caused a heaviness in my chest, making it hard to breathe, almost suffocating me. I left the wedding venue in a daze, dragging my aching calf to look for Vivian. The memories related to her were getting fewer and fewer, to the point where even her image was becoming blurry. I needed to understand why she had abandoned me and left. After searching for a long time, I finally found Vivian by the bridge. She and Derek were embracing, speaking softly to each other. My heart ached. I wanted to walk towards her, but my legs felt weak, my head was muddled, and I suddenly lost consciousness, falling to the ground with a thud. When I woke up again, I had been taken to the hospital. Vivian was sitting by the hospital room bed, gripping my hand, crying and full of worry. "Ethan, you're awake. Do you feel unwell anywhere? It's all my fault. I shouldn't have left you. The doctor said you collapsed because you were too emotional. Thank God you woke up, otherwise I would have felt guilty forever." I looked at her, blinking blankly. After a long moment, I asked in confusion, "Miss, do I know you?" Her hands trembled. Her eyes widened as she stared at me, asking haltingly, You don't remember me?" My mind was a jumble. Just looking at the person in front of me felt like my head had been struck hard, causing pain. She reached out quickly to help me sit up. Ethan, it's Vivian. I'm your fiancé. We were just having our wedding yesterday. How could you suddenly forget me? My body instinctively recoiled from her touch, strongly resisting contact with her. She froze, rigid, and cried out, tears streaming down her face. How could you forget me? How could you possibly forget me? Seeing her made even my heart start palpitating. I told her to leave, my voice full of coldness. I really don't know what you're talking about. My head hurts terribly when I see you. Please just go. Her tears flowed nonstop like a broken string as she looked at me pitifully. After a long hesitation, she reached out to touch my forehead, seemingly wanting to check something. But the moment she got close, my body flinched away, showing clear rejection. She looked at me, hurt, crying out for a doctor before running out in tears. I slowly thought about why I was in the hospital. Looking at the injuries on my body, I didn't know where they came from. It felt like some past memories were missing, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't recall them. After a while, a doctor came in and asked, "Do you feel unwell anywhere? Do you remember what happened yesterday?" I tried to think it through, but I couldn't remember anything. My memories stopped 6 years ago. Memories after that were fragmented. The doctor asked a few questions and handed the examination report to Vivian. I quickly said, "Give it to me, doctor. I don't know that woman at all." Vivian looked at me with teary eyes and said softly, "Ethan, you're sick. Don't worry, I'll do everything I can to cure you." I looked at her, bewildered. I only heard the doctor say his condition might be due to the hypnosis, a side effect from too many instances. Whether he recovers depends on him. However, judging by his current state, he seems very resistant to contact with you. Recovering these memories might be very difficult. I listened blankly to the doctor's words. So, I did know Vivian after all, and forgetting her was due to the hypnosis. Seeing how concerned she was about me, we must have had a very important relationship before. What could have happened that caused my brain to forcibly erase memories of her? I calmly started to sort through these questions, so much so that I didn't even notice when she sat down next to me, watching me with tears in her eyes. "Why are you still here? I told you seeing you makes my head hurt. Didn't you hear me?" She lowered her head, looking hurt, and moved back slightly, saying softly, "I'm sorry. Can I just sit a bit further away? Does your head still hurt like this? The doctor said if I stay by your side, it might help you recover your memory sooner." "Ethan, I don't want you to just forget everything about us." I gave her a cold look, feeling annoyed. My body's reaction told me I didn't want too much contact with this person. She seemed determined to stay, and I couldn't get rid of her no matter what. I decided to just ask the doubts in my heart. The doctor said I lost my memory because of hypnosis. "You say you're my fiancé, so you should know who hypnotized me and caused this." She avoided my gaze and answered in a low voice, "It was me." "Why?" I looked at her, my heart agitated, as if desperately needing this answer. But facing this question, she fell silent, unable to answer. I continued to ask, also, "Why is my body so resistant to contact with you? Do you think it's normal for someone about to get married to react like this?" She still couldn't answer. She choked up under my questioning, finally leaving only one sentence. "I'm sorry, Ethan. It's all my fault. I'll find a way to make it right." For 3 days, Vivian stubbornly stayed at the hospital. She brought photos of us, a ring that fit my size, the suit from the wedding, many things to prove that she was my fiancé. But seeing those things made my head hurt terribly. It felt like a warning that these were proof of what had caused me pain and made me this way. I felt annoyed by her persistence. So, checked myself out of the hospital when she wasn't there. Looking at the familiar streets, memories of the past suddenly flooded back. Gradually, I realized this condition didn't seem to have affected me much. It was just like I had forgotten one person and everything related to her. I found the boxing gym where I used to work and wanted to continue being a fighter. Sarah, the owner, was surprised to see me. "Number 18? You're back? Seeing her, I remembered my past doing underground boxing here. After the memory flashed, I was immediately confused again. I was a legitimate professional fighter. Why would I suddenly do underground boxing? Putting aside my confusion, I told Sarah, yes, I want to come back and box again. Sarah patted my shoulder, overjoyed. Great! I thought you wouldn't continue after you got injured last time. Is your injury healed? Her gaze went to my calf, and I suddenly remembered the injury there. So that's where it came from. It's mostly fine now, doesn't affect my boxing much. Sarah checked my health and agreed to let me stay. Getting my fighter's card felt like a relief, like regaining something I'd lost. I remembered joining the boxing gym in college. My coach at the time thought highly of me, believing I could make it to the national team. Under his guidance, I'd fought in many professional matches and won quite a few awards. In my opinion, I would never do something without principles like underground boxing. Perhaps the reason behind it was related to Vivian. But whatever the reason, I didn't want to dwell on it. Sarah arranged a few practice matches for me, wanting to help me build my reputation again. Luckily, even though I hadn't trained in a long time, my talent was higher than average. I quickly got back into form and defeated my opponents in the ring. During these training days, some fighters I used to know would ask me if I was married to my girlfriend. I'd look confused and say frankly, "What girlfriend?" They'd look at each other, sighing, and leave. I heard them saying behind my back, I thought they'd make it to the wedding. Just like that, they broke up. Poor number 18, so devoted, messed up his body doing underground boxing for her back then. That match back then, it made my heart ache just watching it. I thought number 18 definitely wouldn't come back to compete again. I felt sorry for him then. I paid no attention and buried myself in training. Time flew by. I went from smaller matches all the way to the bounty competition. If I won the championship in the bounty competition, I would get an entry ticket to the national competition. I prepared for the bounty competition with all my heart, practically forgetting to eat and sleep in the training gym. Sarah thought I was pushing myself so hard because I was in some kind of trouble and subtly asked if I needed to borrow money. I took the towel she offered and joked, "When have I ever been that short on cash, Sarah? Do you have some kind of prejudice against me too?" Sarah patted her chest, looking relieved. She quickly said, "I was just really worried you'd go back to underground boxing and mess yourself up again like before. You're the golden goose of my boxing gym. Please don't do something that stupid again." Seeing her worried expression, I laughed. But even as I laughed, a strange feeling of melancholy came over me. Sarah, was that woman really that important to me? I don't feel like I would abandon my principles for anything shady. Everyone seemed to be saying that Vivian was so important to the person I used to be. It made me even more confused. If she was so important, why would I forget her? Sarah sighed, seemingly not wanting to give me an answer. "I think forgetting is the best option for you." After that, she never mentioned Vivian to me again, and neither did anyone else at the boxing gym. The day before the bounty competition, I was so nervous I couldn't sleep all night, so I just got up and went straight to the training gym. I didn't expect to run into Vivian there. Sarah, the owner, and her staff were blocking her from entering. She seemed really anxious, shouting something towards the inside. When I finally made it out, I realized she was calling my name. I walked over calmly, looking at her with displeasure. "Miss Vivian, what do you want?" Her eyes lit up instantly. She eagerly grabbed my arms, scanning my whole body. Seeing I had no injuries, she suddenly threw herself into my arms, crying and complaining, "You jerk. Running off here without a word. Do you know how worried I was? You still have that injury on your calf. How can you come back to boxing? What if you injure it again? Come on. Let's go home. I've found a way to restore your memory." We hadn't seen each other in nearly 2 months, but my body's rejection of her hadn't faded with time. I still couldn't help but tremble when she got close. She let go of me in a panic and quickly apologized. "Sorry, I forgot. We can't have contact right now." Sarah pulled me behind her, stating firmly, How many times have I told you? Stop bothering him. He's forgotten you. What are you doing here? Showing your face. Sarah was usually friendly to everyone. This was the first time I'd seen her this angry. I pulled her away, trying to soothe her. Sarah, don't get worked up. It'll make you sick. Just ignore her. Seeing me about to leave, Vivian said urgently, Ethan, don't go. Come home with me now. I can restore your memory right away. Sarah impatiently pushed her away a couple of times, chasing her off mercilessly. Are you ever going to stop? 2 years ago, when Ethan was doing underground boxing for you, I couldn't stand you. You think I don't know about your messed up life? Running off with another man at your wedding, leaving Ethan alone at the venue. It's good for him that he forgot all of it. Hearing about my past with Vivian from someone else again, I was able to piece together the cause and effect of these events. It was clear Vivian had done things that hurt me, leading to my memory loss. Sarah's words stunned her. She stood frozen in place, not daring to follow me. But her eyes, filled with guilt, stared intently at me, as if saying she was sorry. Sarah was still fuming. I had to drag her away. While comforting her, I gave Vivian a look that warned her not to follow. Just that one look was enough. She did indeed freeze in place and didn't chase after me. Sarah specifically instructed everyone at the boxing gym that if Vivian dared to come again, they were not to let her get within half a step of me. I smiled, confused by her extreme wariness of Vivian. After all, I had completely forgotten everything about Vivian, and besides annoyance, I felt nothing else from her contact. How could I forgive her after 1 or 2 attempts at reconciliation? However, Sarah did have foresight. Every day after that, Vivian would regularly wait outside the boxing gym to see me. Each time, I ignored her, walking around her. I thought if I just pretended not to see her, she would get tired of it and leave. But I underestimated her persistence. She came on the day of the bounty competition. She even placed a huge bet on me. If I won, she would win $1 million. But if I lost, she would lose double that amount. The audience in the stands gasped as she placed her bet, commenting, "Is number 18 that good? Betting so much? I heard this woman keeps bothering number 18 every day. Maybe she's fallen for him." But she just smiled at me from the stands far away and mouthed the words, "I believe in you." Sarah surprisingly didn't stop her this time. She cheered me on, saying, "If you win this match, there's $1 million prize money. Go for it." I nodded and stepped into the ring. My opponent in this bounty competition was very strong. He seemed to know my weakness and deliberately targeted my calf. I didn't rush, lengthening the distance, and with an unexpected dodge, I took him down. The referee counted the final 5 seconds. Under the expectant gaze of the audience, I won. Sarah excitedly helped me down from the ring, so happy she could barely speak. "I'll tell everyone at the boxing gym to stay late. We're having a big celebration tonight with drinks." She threw a towel at me and happily ran outside. I smiled, watching her back, happy that I had won the championship. Suddenly, a man burst into the locker room. "Do you know how much Vivian spent for you to win this championship? This championship was carefully arranged for you by her. You must be thrilled, right?" Looking at that face, I felt strangely familiar. I seemed to remember his name was Derek, but I had no other impression of him. However, the moment I saw him, I felt a deep sense of hatred. "Are you questioning my ability?" The referee and the audience saw everything clearly. "If you think I cheated, you're welcome to report it." I didn't give him any pleasantries for his unwelcome interruption. Derek sneered and handed me his phone with a video playing. The video showed Vivian talking to my opponent, giving him money. "This match is important to Ethan. I hope you can lose to him gracefully in the ring. Also, it would be best to give him a lesson. He has an injury on his calf. I hope after winning this championship, he won't step into the ring again." The familiar voice coming from the phone filled me with anger. I clenched my fists and asked through gritted teeth, "Where is she? How dare she do something like this for me?" Derek smiled sinisterly. "Because this was my idea, Ethan Miller. So what if you won Vivian's heart? As long as I send this video out, your future will be completely ruined, including this boxing gym. Do you think Sarah will still employ someone who fights fixed fights? I clenched my fists in rage, grabbed the collar of his shirt, and swung my fist forcefully. He didn't resist at all, letting me hit him, deliberately provoking me by shouting loudly. Hit me! Vivian will be here any minute. Do you think she'll still like you when she sees you like this? My eyes were blazing with anger. I hit his face again and again. Suddenly, the door was pushed open, and Vivian burst in, shouting, Ethan, stop fighting! She rushed in and separated me and Derek. Derek watched me with a triumphant smirk, sneering, see? I told you Vivian would protect me. The moment he finished speaking, Vivian sharply raised her hand and delivered a hard slap to his face, roaring furiously, Ethan just came off the ring and he's still injured. If anything happens to him because of your provocation, I swear I won't let you get away with it. Then, she turned to me, her face full of tenderness, and asked, Ethan, are you okay? Are you hurt? I grabbed the hand she reached out to touch me with and demanded fiercely, Vivian, who gave you permission to talk to my opponent and make him lose to me? She froze slightly, then lowered her head in a flustered attempt to justify herself. I was just scared you'd get hurt in the ring. Your leg has a chronic issue. I couldn't just watch you get injured again. You won the championship this time, your wish is fulfilled. Can you come back with me and let me help you recover your memory? To her, my future seemed completely unimportant. She kept saying it was for my own good, but she hadn't thought about me at all. What would happen to my future if these things got out? I glared at her, fuming, and roared, I didn't need you to do this. I could have won the championship without you. And I don't want to remember anything about the past with you. Vivian, your repeated pestering has completely worn out my patience. From now on, I don't want to see you again. I forcefully shook off her hand and stormed out. She chased after me anxiously, red-eyed and sobbing. Ethan, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I didn't ask for your consent, but I just wanted to help you. Please don't be angry, okay? I've completely erased all the evidence, it absolutely won't affect you. Don't go. Let's go home, I'll help you recover your memory. Can we start over? She wrapped her arms around me from behind, trying to calm my agitated emotions. After a long while, I finally calmed down. I pulled away her arms wrapped around me, my voice like ice. Vivian, I don't remember anything about you, and I don't want to remember. Maybe I didn't make it clear before I lost my memory, so now I'm making everything clear to you. What happened in the past has no bearing on me now, and neither do you. I don't want that relationship anymore. Let's break up and never see each other again. She stared at me in confusion, unable to accept these cruel words. All that was left was her tears streaming down. I pulled open the door and quickly left, giving her no chance to get close to me again. The boost from the bounty competition did attract many coaches looking to cultivate promising fighters. Over the past half-month, several coaches had come to find me, extending offers. But I didn't accept any of them. Sarah was anxious, asking me why several times. Some of those coaches are from the national team. They're legitimate coaches. If you want to go pro, following them would definitely be better than staying at my small boxing gym. I knew she wanted to see me have a better future, but I was worried about Vivian paying off my opponent in the bounty competition. If those things got exposed, let alone going pro, I'd be booed out of the ring and people would demand refunds. I was feeling down, but I couldn't tell anyone. Sarah, let me think about it. Sarah sighed and didn't try to persuade me further. The $1 million from the bounty competition bet was deposited into my account. I gave half to Sarah to renovate the boxing gym. The rest I donated to needy fighters. Before the match, I couldn't figure out why Vivian would dare to place such a huge bet. After seeing that video, I finally understood it was because she already knew the inside story. She knew I would win, so the money was just her way of compensating me. For a whole month, I was troubled by the issue of the fixed fight. A foreign coach saw my performance in the bounty competition and sought me out. Looking at his business card, I was surprised. He was a national-level coach who had led countless fighters to championships. Coach Wilson said admiringly, "Your bounty competition was quite a sensation. If you're willing to come abroad with me for intensive training, I believe you'll quickly qualify for the national competition." I gripped his business card tightly, knowing this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The words of agreement were on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't say them. Coach Wilson seemed to know what was on my mind and said calmly, "Our fighters don't have a past. Once they come here, they get a new name. I know what you're worried about. Those things can be handled by us." Coach Wilson left it at that, leaving me with an application form before he departed. Sarah saw him leave and specifically came to urge me. "That's Coach Wilson. So many people can't even get a meeting with him. Are you really not going to consider it?" I held the application form, my heart wavering and struggling. Finally, after half a month, I firmly filled out the application form. Coach Wilson told me that training abroad required immigration and that I needed to handle it myself. Once it was done, I could set off. Everyone at the boxing gym knew I was leaving. They came to say goodbye and gave me many things. But no one tried to make me stay. Everyone knew that training under Coach Wilson would definitely be better than staying where I was now. Vivian came to see me off on the day I left. How she got the news that I was leaving, I don't know. She looked a bit worn down, staring at me with vacant eyes, forcing a stiff smile. My cold attitude towards her remained unchanged. I turned away in annoyance, picking up my suitcase to get in the car. She chased after me and stopped my suitcase. Her hands looked like they wanted to reach out to me, but they recoiled before they touched me. Sarah came over, annoyed. "What are you doing here? Haven't you hurt Ethan enough?" Her lips pressed together. After a long moment, she said, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to say goodbye. I know we might not see each other again after this." Sarah pursed her lips and asked for my opinion. I patted Sarah's shoulder and told her it was okay. Then, I said to Vivian indifferently, "What do you want to say?" She was carrying many things, a towel, a hoodie, a toothbrush, even a water cup. She brought them all. She put them away one by one and said to me, "These are all things you used in the past. For 6 years, everything you owned was something I got for you. You're only comfortable using these brands. I brought them all for you. It's definitely going to be unfamiliar there. Bringing these might make things a little more comfortable." I watched her hurriedly place those things in the car, giving countless instructions, as if she had gone through this scene countless times before. She then pressed a bank card into my hand, smiling with concern. "I saw you seem to have spent that $1 million already. Expenses are high there. This money should be enough. The pin is our anniversary." "Oh, I almost forgot. You don't remember that anymore. I'll have someone change it to your birthday later." The bank card didn't stay in my hand for even half a second. I handed it back to her. "I don't need it." She had expected my refusal. She stared at the card that had fallen to the ground, slowly squatting down to pick it up. But her hands were trembling uncontrollably. When she looked up again, her eyes were red. "Ethan, just take it as something I owe you, okay?" I gave a cold laugh, my mind filled with the image of her paying off my opponent. My tone was even harsher than before. I said, "I don't need it." Not wanting to be entangled with her any longer, I pulled open the car door and got in. She wiped away her tears and tapped on the car window. "I still have something to say, Ethan. I've thought about it. Maybe forgetting is the best choice. I won't force you to recover your memory anymore. What I did was wrong. I'm sorry. For a long time, I thought you would never leave me." I said coldly to the driver, "Let's go, driver. To the airport." I gave her no chance, closing the car window. The car started moving. In the rearview mirror, I saw her figure hurrying after the car. She was saying she was sorry. But I wouldn't forgive her. The plane arrived in Los Angeles right on time. Following the address Coach Wilson gave me, I found the boxing gym. It was indeed much bigger than Sarah's gym. Looking for Coach Wilson, he came down from the ring and handed me a fighter's card. "You're number 18. I hope you get a new start here. I took the card, smiling and nodding, carefully placing it in my pocket. I changed clothes and got into the ring. The blackboard showed the national competition was just 2 months away. Looking at it, my heart was full of excitement. A new start. I think so.